July 18th, 2008. Christopher Nolan forever changed the superhero genre with The Dark Knight, a box office behemoth that would not only become the first of its kind to make $1 billion, but more impressively, appeal to virtually everybody. You see, this wasn't your generic popcorn flick to mindlessly consume, but instead an expertly crafted experience to savor, and while technically a sequel, worked beautifully as a standalone entry, as well as an origin story for any would-be newcomer, with the end result being an authentic depiction of the Batman. The age-old adage of the hero only being as good as their villain was delivered in spades right from the jump, with an iconic entrance by our hero's greatest adversary. Because as much as this was Batman's story, it was also that of his foil, an agent of chaos content with watching the world burn to the ground. Better still, this would set a new precedent wherein a supervillain could be as faithfully realized as the superhero. Rather than existing merely as a cardboard cutout, here was a multifaceted character that truly served as the hero's equal. And whereas previous comic book features phoned it in with 1 or 2 pivotal scenes, here saw a bevy of standout sequences that doubled as masterclass lessons in acting. What's more, they all centered around the big bad. This decision to utilize a villain versus waiting until a climactic showdown in the final act proved instrumental in forwarding the plot, with the audience fully at his mercy. By featuring numerous twists and turns, the film kept things fast and loose for moviegoers, and in doing so, ensured the narrative would be anything but predictable. Pair this with a cast of supporting characters, all of whom made significant contributions with their respective screen time, from Morgan Freeman's Lucius to Michael Caine's Alfred, and Gary Oldman's Gordon. But the 2 supporting characters who best demonstrated just what was at stake were Maggie Gyllenhaal's Rachel and Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent. Both characters were drawn into the conflict against their will, and ultimately got caught in the crossfire, which reaffirmed everything Batman was fighting for. Rachel's death was a sucker punch, and Dent's transformation into Two-Face added a layer of complexity to the conflict, not just because Dent predicted his own fall from grace, but also because it demonstrated the inherent danger of rampant chaos. All this to say, Christopher Nolan's approach to the film was very much grounded in reality. Gone were the toxic vats of acid and cartoon antics in exchange for an air of mystery and a penchant for theatrics. This was seen as a departure from the genre's tried and true fantastical MO. But with this change in mise-en-scène, Gotham felt all the more believable. This allowed the audience to become more immersed within the story, and sparked interest in those who otherwise had no desire to watch a comic book movie. With that in mind, the cinematography felt ripped straight from the pages of the source material, which rewarded the most die-hard of fans. At the same time, Nolan invested a great deal into practical effects to further sell that believability. If it looked real, it most likely was, which allowed for more genuine performances. And once all these components were brought together, the finished product became something entirely transformative, the likes of which could only be intended for the silver screen. In the end, Nolan set a bar for every superhero film to follow, truly redefining the genre's landscape. He made a film for the masses that never compromised its quality. It was pure artistry that was equal parts engaging and thought-provoking. Beyond that, it showcased one of modern-day cinema's greatest performances by Heath Ledger. His nuanced portrayal of a man with nothing to lose, forever locked in a dance between a man with nothing to gain, was Shakespearean to say the least. Above all else, this film solidified the mark of a true hero. Putting the needs of Gotham first, even when that meant Gotham sought to tear him down, is what made Batman someone far greater than just another superhero, someone they collectively called the Dark Knight.